Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's review is my first review of 2022. Even though this came out a few months ago for the rest of the world, I've been quietly looking forward to this one. So this is Kier's Reviews and this is my review of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh my gosh! Did I hit it? You didn't hit it! You destroyed it!
Ghostbusters Afterlife was nowhere near as good as I expected it to be at all. Effortlessly comedic and heaps of fun, there is never a dull moment as the upbeat tone only gives the film's strong script heaps to build upon. Much like the original classic, Paul Rudd seemingly replaces Bill Murray as the lead, but still manages to be an excellent comedic relief as he defies all of the expected character traits of a typical comedic relief. Even though the film takes a while to get to the proper plot, the filler scenes aren't as bad as you would expect. Filled to the brim with humour, both light and dark, I honestly enjoyed this more than the original, but take that statement with a grain of salt because I'm not a massive fan of the original like most people. Nevertheless, it is easily better than the previous two sequels and delivers the only sequel that original director Ivan Reitman can truly be proud of. Better yet, Ghostbusters Afterlife is actually directed by his son, Jason. I might be incorrect, but I remember hearing about this at an early point last year when test screenings were being held, and Ivan came out with his reaction and said that the film was very personal and a sometimes tear-inducing experience. I might have not felt emotionally attached to the narrative, but to have the original director feel this way towards it, it's obvious that this was done right.
Hey.
Even though Paul Rudd was great in his role, Mckenna was the standout for me. The number one thing I liked so much about Afterlife was that it didn't feel like it was another return film set in the same timeline as the original. It didn't rely on standard stock characters to deliver a decent ensemble. Even though I didn't particularly catch every single Easter egg from the first two movies, the feeling that I had during Spider-Man No Way Home and being able to understand every little nod was a feeling that I felt that I didn't require for this outing. Given that the story continues 30 years after Ghostbusters 2, it has its moments where fans will really get a kick out of this, but even just as a normal viewer, with very little in-depth knowledge about the franchise, I still loved it quite a lot. Even though the only strong problem I had with this was Finn Wolfhard's side plot, Mckenna and Paul Rudd really gave this movie everything they had, and the fun that they had while making it was obvious and really gave something extra to the audience, so I'd say that this was in no way disappointing.
We should probably get out of here.
You're an adult.
Yeah. And liable.
It's not hard to find flaws in this movie, as the pacing is another point that I didn't really feel was treated well, and to be honest, I don't even remember the names of the characters. However, what made me feel like this was an authentic and well done sequel was that the visual effects were upgraded to fit today's standards, but was done in a way that honoured the now outdated effects of 1984. That may not make sense, but the design of all of the ghosts felt like I was seeing the same effects guy do a bit of a better job on this one. I can see why some may not like that it's not a Marvel level use of CGI, but I genuinely think that it was a great way to honour the original Ghostbusters film, but still feel like it's the third in the trilogy. I'm deliberately trying to forget the female Ghostbusters, just keep that in mind. This didn't feel like a completely different installment to the franchise, okay, I'm nodding to the female Ghostbusters again, which made this so much more charming and exciting to watch, even if you didn't like the original movie. If not for Paul Rudd and Mckenna playing their roles so perfectly and genuinely getting frequent chuckles out of me, this film could have been a stinker, but their chemistry as actors was phenomenal, and then once the action kicks in, it gets even better. Even though the film isn't action-based like we've seen before, once the ghosts start terrorizing the city, the familiar theme begins, and that's when you get to really sit back and relax.
It has a gunner seat?
Ghostbusters Afterlife certainly wasn't a film that I was expecting to enjoy so much. It has a familiar cast, great visual effects, and some great comedy, but what it strives to achieve is accomplished in an unexpected yet earned way. It honours the original classic, and it's the only sequel that I consider to be worth watching. It knew what it wanted to do, and it did it perfectly. This is a film that all Ghostbusters fans can celebrate, so I'll give Ghostbusters Afterlife an 8 out of 10. Thank you all so much for watching. Are you going to see Ghostbusters Afterlife? Let me know below. As always, be sure to have a look at my top 10 favourite films of 2021, as well as my previous review of The Matrix Resurrections. I've also rebooted my Instagram account, so if you'd like to see more reviews and rankings, please follow me at Kia's Reviews. Hope to see you there. This has been Kia's Reviews, signing off for now.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.